UFP, the United Federation of Podcasts.
To all who listen to this happy podcast, this is Mickey's Marvels on the United Federation of Podcasts.
You can contact the network at contact@UFP Earth, on Twitter @UFP Earth, and on Facebook.
I'm your host, Magic. Join with me, as always, is my good friend Tribs. Tribs, how are you?
Oh my gosh. I'm driving myself still stir crazy, but I think the light of Disney has shone upon me because we finally get to record together after a hiatus. It's so glad to be back behind the mic to talk to my good friend, which is you.
Yeah, so it's been crazy because you'd think with not working, I'd actually have more time to record. And we had all this stuff planned out when this all first started. We were going to go do lives on Facebook and all this other stuff. And then I had to teach 2 children how to do math and reading and science and social studies. And my son and I wrote a book that he wrote it. I just helped him with like spelling and stuff, but he had to write a book that was going to Full Sail University to be judged on the American Revolution. It's been crazy, man. And then my school started back up, so I'm teaching from home behind the mic still, but not doing the things I really want to be doing. You know, I'm working. It wasn't like fun time. So it's been crazy. I mean, last night I recorded with Amy, and that by the time this episode drops, that episode will have dropped 2 or 3 weeks earlier. But so I got on mic with her last night, and I'm getting on mic with you tonight. And somehow I just did not have any time over the last month and a half. In fact, the last episode that dropped was in the hopper for 3 weeks before finally you were able to get to it because we've both been crazy busy. And
yeah, it's been
insane.
I'm here to tell you, casinos truly never close. It's always open, and, I've been working. Unfortunately, I'm essential, so I have to be on the property in order to work. But yeah, we've been working nonstop. It's just going from one place to another and then coming home. But I'll be honest with you though. I mean, I have my days, but there's all my other friends that I talk to, and we all make it a good time, and it kind of gets me in that lighter mood, much like Disney does, which we're going to talk today. I can't wait to discuss this movie because there's a lot of things that Disney does that mimics, art imitates life. And this movie is just another example of it.
Oh, yeah. So you started that with, being light, right? But this movie is anything but light. I mean, this is a heavy, heavy movie for Disney. And so before we go any farther, if you have not already seen Onward, because it did actually only come out about a month and a half ago onto Disney Plus, if you have not seen it, stop listening, go watch it before you come back to this episode, because I'm going to spoil everything. I'm warning you now. We are spoiling this movie for you. If you have seen it, then continue on. But if you have not seen Onward yet, you do not want to listen to anything else we have to say from this moment forward. That being said, now I can go on. So on that note,
get your popcorn, get your drink. The movie's about to start.
I'm going to ruin this entire movie for you if you haven't seen it. But this is extremely heavy. And to be honest with you, a lot of what happens in this movie, I see this movie from a totally different perspective than other people. And I think it was intended to be seen that way, but I don't think by the reaction this movie is getting that a lot of people understand exactly what you're supposed to be paying attention to when you're watching this movie. Because I have lived in the life of the older brother. I know exactly how Barley feels through much of this movie. And I think people miss that, which is why a lot of people are not happy about a lot of the things that happen in this movie towards the end.
The way I look at this movie is, initial thoughts of the movie, I thought it was well done. It was a very playful idea. It was very light to the point. Like we said before, it was very light to undertone what the real plot was, right? So they kind of did a good job with that. There's a lot of the stuff in this movie is really, really well done. And have not been put in that position. So seeing for what I saw on screen to be, shall we say, Bible or gospel, I love the movie for what it presented. I put myself in those that I've known in those shoes, and learned what I learned from them. But watching this movie for what it was, for what I saw, my perspective, I enjoyed it very much.
Okay. And I loved the movie, by the way. Just to let that out there. I absolutely love the movie. But actually, just before we get into this, because I don't want to hit the end of this movie before the end of this movie. I want to talk our way through the movie. I can tell you my wife does not like this movie. She's not a fan of this movie, and she believes there should be a second one. But that's another story, and we'll get into that when we get to the bottom. But just real quick, because...
Get your news here. Hear all about it.
We have some news. Let's go over the news real quick, because we didn't touch at all on the news. And I will just start the news with Disney Springs is now open again. As of this recording, it's been open a few weeks. As of this recording, it's been open 2 days. But by the time this hits you, it'll be open for a while. One of the problems with this is there are people not observing any of these mask rules. They just don't care. And what's even weirder is there was appeared to be a child, a mother, and a grandmother. I'm assuming that's what they were. It seemed like that should be the right ages. Who had an open flame cooking in Disney Springs. Yeah, the look you have, that's the look I had when I saw it. So, and for people who don't know, just open what the look that Chris has, open your eyes really wide and look very confused, because that's how I felt. And so they had you ever see at the supermarkets, they sell those portable throwaway barbecues? They're in tin and they have the charcoal in them or whatever, but they have a little nonsense grate and you can just throw a couple of hamburgers on it or whatever. They were actually cooking, not a mask to be seen in sight. And security walked up to them very politely, I guess, told them they couldn't do that. But that's ridiculous.
I have no words. Yes, Disney Springs has been open for a couple of weeks, and sure, there are measures to be put in place, and surely these people should have known what the measures were.
Wait, forget the measures.
On top of common sense.
You can't open flame cook. Why are you going to Disney Springs to bring your own food, for one? But besides that fact, it's not a park. This is not a barbecue area. It's a mall. Disney Springs is a mall. It's a very nice, beautiful, well thought out and themed mall, but it's a mall. I wouldn't go to Roosevelt Field and start my barbecue in the food court.
I think I'm gonna do that. I'll buy a hibachi grill over at Walmart tomorrow and head over to the mall and go ahead and light me up some hot dogs. Maybe I can sell them and make money on the deal, and maybe that'll pay for my citation. That's
Yeah, exactly. You better sell a lot of hot
dogs. I can make it work. That's for sure. But yeah, that's really, like you says, it's not a park, it's a mall. Why someone would do that, I have no idea. It makes no sense to me.
None at all. None at all. So anyway, that's the news I have. I noticed you had some news up there, so go ahead.
Yeah, Disney brings back yet another childhood classic. You guys remember it when you were younger. It's The Wonderful World of Disney, the movie series. As reported on drdisney.com, for the next 4 weeks, Disney Plus brings 4 Disney classics: Moana, Thor: The Dark World, Pixar's Up, and our last recording was Big Hero 6, and Big Hero 6 is the last movie for their special for Wonderful World of Disney. However, don't expect to be waiting by the TV during the nights that we all remember Wonderful World of Disney was on. Disney Plus stated Wonderful World of Disney will be on Wednesday nights and not Sunday nights. And from a family perspective, that kind of throws everything off. Granted.
Well, yeah, but not really, because kids are home from school now.
That's what I was going to say too. It used to be Sunday nights because that was family night, but with everything going on right now during the summer, kids are out from school, whatever have you. This really, any of the 7 nights actually works. So
yeah, a lot of parents are now home from work, and so it works. Here's the problem with our announcement. It's probably over by the time you get this recording. But that yeah, it's probably over, or you'll just be catching Big Hero 6. So good luck with that. But hopefully you caught it. If you're listening to this podcast, odds are you knew about it anyway. One other bit of news. So this just came out today or yesterday as of this recording. But Zenimation, they came out with Zenimation, which is it self-proclaimed to unplug while watching a streaming service. So they didn't name that one quite right. But yeah, it's basically if you know what ambient sounds are, and if you don't know what ambient sounds are, if you know what sleep sounds are, people used to buy tapes and put on background noise. It would be like the rainforest, or just the forest, or wind, or water, crashing waves. Yeah, all kinds of weird stuff.
Monkeys making love, elephants kissing. Yes, absolutely.
Weird stuff. All that stuff. So, but Disney did their version of that on Disney Plus. I watched it all today. I just let it run in the background because that's the whole point of it. And basically, they cut and edited a whole bunch of movies together, edited some new animations from those that would fit in those movies, so that like one was wind and one was rain and one was water. And when I say water, I don't mean rain. I mean like the ocean or lakes or babbling brooks and stuff. It's actually pretty good. So if if you need some kind of like, I use my Echo to play sleep sounds, ambient sounds of the rainforest. Usually that's the sounds I like the most, or thunderstorms. But this will work just as well. You can just run through them. They just play one right after the other, and there's like 8 or 10 of them or something like that. I didn't pay attention, and each one is a different theme, and it's pretty. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, they range about anywhere between 4 to 6 minutes. Yeah. I have yet to discover it, but I understand the meaning behind it.
They're very calming. They do what they're supposed to do.
Right. Well, I wish I could fall asleep in 6 minutes.
Well, no, but there's 8 of them. So when you add all the 6 minutes up, eventually you're asleep.
Yeah, you might be asleep by 24 minutes. Who knows?
Right.
But this goes to the innovation that Disney is known for, right? They're making the best out of what they have, and they're just going the extra mile, or a foot above, to continue the brand.
Yeah, and look, it's something that, if you're a big Disney fan right now, something that's calming is something you need. I mean, it's crazy times right now, and people are up in arms about a lot of different things. So for all of us at this point, just to have something to just sit down and relax and just disconnect from everything else. I've been very much off of Facebook over the last month. I've been hiding in books and in TV and other things. And my wife and I mean, we broke a sewing machine. We made so many masks. So,
oh, wow. Yeah,
we now have 2 sewing machines. I don't know how you break one and end up with 2, but I did. And
the math works when you're married.
Yeah, exactly. So, but why did we get 2? Because we ordered one and it wasn't coming in time, so we ordered another, and then they both showed up on the same day. And then my wife was going to return the better, more expensive one, and I said, "Why would you do that?" She goes, "Because I know how to use the other." I said, "It's all right, just keep them both because you're going to use them. You make dresses all the time." But she's made over 4,000 masks at this point to give to first responders and healthcare workers, and so. It's money well spent if it helps people and whatever. So, but so I've been doing all these things. I've been teaching kids, my kids, not random kids, but teaching my kids. We've been playing in the backyard. We've done all these things. So I've been trying to disconnect from everything. But it's nice to every once in a while just go throw the TV on, put your head back on the couch, lay down, close your eyes, and you just hear crashing waves.
Oh.
It's nice.
Now you're gonna have me throw these on tonight.
They were good. They were really good. They're definitely worth the listen. And but so I'm very thankful that they even did this. But we are 20 minutes in at this point. Well, really not, because I had to walk away and kill a bug. But we're probably 13 minutes in or 14 minutes in, and we have not gotten into the movie. So let's get into the movie now.
Onward to the movie.
Get your popcorn, get your drink. The movie's about to start.
All right, so you have the trivia? Shoot.
I do. And here